Welcome back to one of the premier destinations in all of Division III athletics. It is Shellenberger Field in Lynchburg, Virginia, on campus of the University of Lynchburg. You're watching field hockey on LHSN. It is Ursinus. It is Lynchburg doing battle. Not the season opener, but it is the home opener for your Hornets. Got off to a 2-0 start over the weekend. Ursinus kicking off the season in fashion. A whole lot of ranked opponents on the slate early on. 1-1 over the opening weekend, splitting a pair of those ranked opponents. I am Sam Graham, super stoked for not only the home opener for your Lynchburg field hockey team, also Code Red, and I think everybody that is a Lynchburg fan remembers what happened this time last year when Johns Hopkins came into town. Lynchburg walking away with the 2-0 victory in that one. Coach Inja Steele, in her farewell tour here, will be hoping for a similar result here today. Looking at some of the numbers coming in, Ursinus, 3 different goal scorers, 3 goals so far on the season through those first 2 games. For Lynchburg, a little bit more success finding the back of the cage. They put up a 4-0 decision over Lebanon Valley last Saturday. Then they doubled back on Sunday, pulled out a 3-2, a little bit harder fought W over Dickinson. Of course, Dickinson always a very formidable program. Shot percentage for Lynchburg pretty much right where you would want it to be, especially coming right out of the gate. But a pair of good defenses and a pair of very good goalies at different spots of their career, but both will bring certainly a lot of talent to the table for their respective defenses. More on those two a little bit later, but it looks like we are about ready to get this one underway. 5th all-time meeting between Ursinus and Lynchburg. Only one victory for Lynchburg in the all-time series. That came 2 seasons ago on a neutral site battle. It was over at Liberty, but come to expect some pretty good battles from these 2 programs. Again, Ursinus does lead the series 3-1, but the last 2 decisions both requiring extra time. And how about 2 overtimes to decide the winner last year? That was a 1-point Ursinus victory. But we are ready to go for the 2023 version of this matchup. A great non-conference battle between a pair of traditional Division III powers. Ursinus, the 2006 national champions. And what do we even need to say about what Coach Enza Steele has done here? She is Lynchburg field hockey, now entering year number 45. She has got another very formidable team. They possess the ball right now. Quick foul right there. Ball stays with Lynchburg. That is Schaefer. Works it ahead. Lynchburg looking to force some early pressure. Standing there protecting the goalie for a moment. Now it's Vendricks with it. Kicks it back out. Mazizi looking. She chops one up. And the first save is going to be recorded of the day. That's Adriana Paladinetti. She will be in the cage for the visitors today. Again, just a freshman, but already has come out and impressed the coaching staff here for Ursinus. Made 10 saves in the last game out against William Smith. It's Mazizi again taking a shot. She got a couple shots off against Dickinson, the freshman. It's been very impressive. Talked with Coach Steele about her earlier this week. You know, just as you watch her playing, sometimes it doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but she just seems to be everywhere seemingly at the same time, both on the offensive and defensive sides, whether it's breaking up passes or feeding a couple nice passes of her own. Coach Steele said just wait until you see her on AstroTurf. That speed and athleticism will be on full display. Mazizi, a member of the national team of her home country. A lot of international talent on this Lynchburg team, particularly from the Netherlands. I'm sure we'll touch on that some as the game goes along. It's still in the attacking third here for Lynchburg. That shot going to go, not quite going to make it to the cage. Looked like that was Vendricks on the shot. She does lead the Hornets in that category. Lynchburg will key it back up. It's Schaefer again. Will not make it there this time. Ball is going to swing over to Ursinus, who's going to look to cross the midfield line, start to set something up offensively. Here's a feed going ahead. Now a battle for the ball near side. It's going to be taken by Cameron. Weren't sure if we'd see her today, but she is out there in her typical spot in the starting lineup. All-conference defender. She's got the ball now off a good feed from Danielle Kuhn. battle for it near side. Ursinus really playing with their backs against the wall early on in this game. Of course, as the visitors getting the ball awarded to them first, but Lynchburg drawing that foul against the Bears and now trying to capitalize. They've spent the first 3 minutes of this contest on the end of the field. They want to. Zizzy, hear the clanking of those sticks chopping together. Expect this one to be a hard-fought game. Should be fast-paced as well. Ball nearly goes out of bounds. Officials say, yep, it did. Could not quite get to it in time. Was Rachel Buno. So it still stays with Lynchburg. Can't ask for much more in the early going here. It's Kuhn dribbling. Foul's going to go against Lynchburg and quickly try to go the other way. Looks like it will be Buno keying this one in. She sends that one airborne, skies it to her teammate, Mary Lauren France. Leading returning scorer for an Ursinus team that did lose some production from last year's squad. The team went 10-9 this year. Picked to finish 4th in the Centennial Conference preseason poll. Here's a forced turnover from Lynchburg and Vendricks. Oh, that one will not count. Still a good play made there from the sophomore. One of those international players out of the Netherlands is Vendricks, the leading returning scorer on the other side for Lynchburg. She's got 2 goals in the early going this season. It's actually not Vendricks, though, that leads the Hornets in goal scoring or points as that ball gets through. Vendricks going to try to hustle it down. Don't think she's going to get there. No, it'll roll across the end line. Back over to Ursinus, who still has not really been able to cross that midfield line. Lynchburg, you could say the best defense sometimes is a good offense. Lynchburg playing keep away. Getting in the way of that pass for Lynchburg was Allie Freeman, freshman, making her 3rd start and as many opportunities. Airtime Cameron's there to stop it from crossing into enemy territory. Feeds it back ahead now to Kuhn. That pass misses the mark, but Mzizi takes it away from Buno near side. She's looking for a teammate. Almost a no-look pass there. Couple players inside. It's Ursinus able to force it back away and out of bounds. Looks like it actually went off Lynchburg, so Ursinus going to take control now. It was Maeve Montgomery standing in there. You'll see her in that spot, kind of protecting the goalkeeper. How about 5 defensive saves in just 2 games? 4 of those coming the last game out against number 20, William Smith. Of course, a 3-1 victory for Ursinus in that one. That earned Montgomery Centennial Conference Player of the Week honors. And the ODAC Player of the Week's got the ball in her stick right now. That's Erin Boatwright. Misplayed that one a bit. I mentioned a moment ago, Vendricks not the leading scorer at the moment for Lynchburg. Of course, it's a long season, but it's actually Erin Boatwright who, if you take a quick look at your score sheet, if you're keeping up at home, of course, Erin listed as a defender, and not only a defender, a pretty good defender. All ODAC selection a season ago, all state selection a season ago, and on that NFHCA All-American watch list that came out just a few days ago as well. But it's kind of curious. Has 3 goals through the first 2 games. Asked Coach Steele, was that sort of part of the plan? And she looked at me, kind of chuckled, and she said, well, we moved her to left wing. We thought we had a lot of depth at defense, wanted to see what she could do for us offensively, felt like she had the talent to transition her skills over to that side of the ball. And I said, well, has she ever played on the offensive side of the ball? And she kind of shook her head and said, no, but obviously she knows what she's doing. 3 goals already. So it's going to be the first penalty corner now, and it will be Boatwright that's going to key it in from the near side. Lynchburg found the back of the cage twice off of set pieces last game out. That 3-2 victory over Dickinson, avenging a loss from last season. And Ursinus doing the same in that game against William Smith. See what the play is here. It's going to come into Cameron. Passes right on the money. She'll kick it out to Vendricks. Her shot a little bit off the mark. Looks like that's going to be save number 2 for Paladinetti. Definitely keep an eye out for those set pieces from Lynchburg throughout the day. Didn't find probably as much success as they would have liked from the penalty corner spot in game 1 against Lebanon Valley. Of course, they were able to find ways to score in other facets of the game, putting up 4 goals in that one. They started to get those set pieces clicking a little bit on Sunday against Dickinson. One of the calling cards of Coach Steele. Saw her eyes light up when we were talking about some of those set pieces. And that was a good one drawn up there, just the shot a little bit off the mark. Vendrick still trying to find her stroke from an efficiency perspective. Take a look at it again. You see that ball played perfectly into Cameron, and then her feed in turn to Vendricks pretty much right on the money as well. It's just shot just slightly off wide. It's a game of inches. It is still Lynchburg with it far side. They have controlled pretty much wire to wire. I shouldn't even say pretty much. I mean, really have not turned our head to look in Kayla Brady's direction in the cage for Lynchburg. That pass, almost a screen there, as Boatwright coming near side. Kuhn going to the far side, but Kuhn couldn't corral it. Looked like Ursinus might be able to get away, but Cameron once again keeps it on this half of the field. Boatwright poking as Buno was looking to make a play on it. Now it's Freeman. What a shot there. Save made by Paladinetti. Impressive little scoop shot there from the freshman. Can't find the back of the cage. Again, a pass broken up. Who else? Mzizi, Zimbabwe national team member. The pass a little outside. Going to be corralled, though. Trying to go back inside. Now it's Ursinus that has something to say about breaking up a pass. And that time it is Mallory Lamb with the lone defensive save on the year for Lynchburg that's going to break up the pass. Of course, we don't keep track of turnovers in field hockey, but almost have a desire sometimes to keep track of them myself, just because this Lynchburg team is so active. Just no quitting them. It doesn't matter what the situation is, where you are in the game. They just seem to be everywhere. Touched on that aspect of Mzizi's game, but it's really not just her. It's everybody on this Lynchburg team, of course, in their black uniforms today. Ursinus in the white and gold. It's going to be another penalty corner now for Lynchburg, second one of the day. Again, it's Boatwright that will key it in. We've seen Kuhn take the lead on a couple of these corners as well. Of course, Brittany Clayball took a majority of them last year. She has since graduated. One of those only 2 All-ODAC members not on the team now, 7 returning All-ODAC selections. Similar play this time. It's Vendricks with the shot again. This time it's misses to the near side. So Coach Steele liked that play. She pulled it out again, it looks like. We'll take a look at the replay, but as far as I could tell, looks pretty similar. And then Boatwright maybe trying to tap it in there right at the end, couldn't quite connect. So here's Ursinus with the ball. Mzizi trying to poke it away. Going to get a foul. It's going to stay with Ursinus. We'll have to back up a little bit, but best chance of the day to try to set something up offensively. We're already down to just 4:45 to go in this first quarter. Dancing around that near side out of bounds line. That pass picked off by Freeman. Splits a pair of defenders. Gets it to Otis. Reserve coming in now for a Lynchburg team that likes to sub, likes to get everybody involved. Pass ahead. Cannot quite be corralled by Boatwright. Would have pretty much been a one-on-one opportunity between her and Paladinetti. And she brought that one in. Ursinus defense not getting a break so far. You see way out ahead, that is Remy Lloyd. Not sure if anybody saw her, just kind of dancing around. Of course, you don't want to get hit with the offsides, but look for a second like she might have a little bit of space to work with. That pass going to go out of the Lynchburg end line, and Ursinus works it into the attacking half, the attacking third, and then turns it over. Of course, Lynchburg now going to give it right back to him. Ursinus still looking for its first shot of the first quarter. 3.5 minutes to go. Near side, working to her left, it's France. 7 goals a season ago. And now it's going to be the first penalty corner of the day for Ursinus. So it didn't take them long to get a quality look here on the offensive side. Reference that Johns Hopkins game from a year ago for Lynchburg. That final score was 2-0. Hopkins a lot more bites at the apple than Lynchburg got. Brady just stood tall and turned everything away. Over 20 saves in that game. But all that to say, you know, sometimes it doesn't matter how many opportunities you get. Obviously, the more you have, the better chances you have to win. That's pretty simple, but sometimes it only takes a shot or two. That one, there you go. It does find the back of the net, and it looks like it was Maeve Montgomery. Set piece number 1 finds the back of the cage for Ursinus. We'll take a look at it again, confirm that that was 27 in white Maeve Montgomery, the reigning Centennial Conference Player of the Week. Yeah, pretty simple play right here. Feed it to your best player. Let her go to work. She sneaks one past Kayla Brady. First shot faced by Brady today. And Ursinus gets the best of her. It's an early 1-0 lead. So take a look at that shots disparity. It's 5-1 Lynchburg. But at the end of the game, once we've played 60 minutes, only numbers that matter are the big ones, and it's 1-0 Bears right now. Just trying to work that one ahead. Will not reach the intended destination. Now middle of the field, Ursinus getting another chance here on the attacking half. Lynchburg in their face, now picked off by Lamb. Lamb, the sophomore defender out of Virginia Beach. Regular starter for this Hornet program. We mentioned that defense that has a lot of depth to it. A lot of that is this freshman class. Recruited pretty heavily on the defensive side of the ball, but a lot more of it are some of those returners. Oh, catching one. It's like in the shin. Thank goodness for the shin guards there for Franz. It's going to stay with Lynchburg, though. This time they go between her legs, trying to get in close. Very close on the near side. Haven't gotten a shot off yet. Might have been looking for a shot. Instead, it's going to be a pass far side. Got a couple more reserves in for Lynchburg. That shot was off to the near side. Looks like Anna Dorestein, another freshman out of the Netherlands. Ursinus trying to get out and run. Mentioned a pair of teams that don't mind pushing the pace. They're going to move quickly. A lot of very good athletes, both sides of the ball for both teams. It's Ursinus with it right now, a 1-0 lead, 97 seconds to go in the first. That goal from Montgomery, her second on the year. It was the first quarter goal of the season for Ursinus. Mazizzi takes a little contact, maintains possession, trying to feed it through a pair of defenders to Vendricks. It will be picked off and now goes out of bounds. Looks like Kuhn will send it in as she checks in. Nope, check that. It's going to be Freeman. But Kuhn does check in for Mazizzi. She'll get quick rest. Boatwright looks to be the next to come in for Lynchburg. Freeman trying to collect that one. Works it backward to her teammate, Olivia Moore. And dancing on the far side is Lamb along that out-of-bounds line, working across the field. Oh, looks like a pretty good feed. Now Vendricks trying to control it. Good defense, but it's going to be a penalty corner for Lynchburg. Now that's one of those as a coach. You can't be too mad. You got to try to protect your goalie, but now Ursinus is going to be tasked with doing the same again on penalty corner number 3 for the Hornets. Mentioned Boatwright. Boatwright keys a lot of these in. She is not in the game right now, so we'll see who puts it in play. It will be Kuhn. If my knowledge serves me correctly, it is Kuhn and Boatwright that have sent in every single corner this year. This time it's Kuhn. She goes very close to Oatjes, and they're going to try the same play that worked for Montgomery. Rebound shot for Oatjes. Diving save made by Paladinetti. She has been tested often. 8 shots from Lynchburg in this first quarter. She hadn't let a single one get through yet, been helped out again by Montgomery and the Ursinus defense. Now 15 seconds. See if the Bears can work things ahead. Trying to create a fast break opportunity here, but nobody up ahead is in effect. Ursinus feeds it ahead to Allie Freeman. With 3 seconds, the ball rolls across the end line. Not going to be time for Ursinus to do anything else in this first quarter, but they do strike first. The Bears in a code red game, in a hostile environment, a crowd steadily collecting on the track, but it is the visitors out to the 1-0 advantage through the first 15. Second quarter coming up next on LHSN.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Now we can take a look at that crowd I referenced just steadily. Of course, an 11 a.m., a little brunch start to this one, but it's a doubleheader on Shellenberger Field today. Women's soccer taking on Johns Hopkins. That is going to be a battle and a fun one to watch. That's going to follow this game. But before the second quarter gets underway, let's take a look at a pair of very accomplished coaches. There you can see Janelle Benner in her 13th season at the helm for the Ursinus program. Reached 2 Final Fours and 5 Centennial Conference championships. And a woman who needs no introduction, Coach Enza Steele, entering year number 45, the final of a storied career. She has coached every single game in Lynchburg Field Hockey's program history. And when you throw in the game she has won when she coached the women's lacrosse program here at Lynchburg at its inception, the total win total is now over 850. Coach Enza Steele looking for what should be a very successful last ride, but right now it's a 1-0 deficit for her club. Can't be too mad with how the game plan worked out in that first quarter. Just, you know, you get 8 shots up to 1 for Ursinus. I mean, typically that's going to work in your favor, but efficiency always wins. Ursinus 1 for 1, Lynchburg 0 for 8. Is the Hornets applying a little bit of pressure at the outset of this first quarter. Or second quarter, excuse me. Getting a little confused up in the head because, of course, that first quarter we saw pretty much everything looking to the left of the press box on this Lynchburg attacking half. And attacking third in close is Mazizzi. She's not going to be able to find the back of the cage, though. She's gotten up a couple shots in the early going today. Chuckling on that one as she runs back up the field. Might be a little bit of frustration, but again, still very early in this one. Just about a minute gone by, second quarter. Ursinus trying to get out on the run now. They feed it ahead. That ball, Karen's a little bit to the outside. It's Kirsten Johnson with it. Johnson had a great look at the equalizer at the end of Ursinus's first contest of the season. It was a 1-0 decision, a loss to Rowan, who entered the year ranked 3rd in the country. So That's kind of all you need to hear about that Ursinus defense. Rowan, national semifinalist a season ago, another proud program. In fact, Ursinus placed 2 of last year's NCAA Division III semifinalists. Johns Hopkins, the other one on the schedule, that's coming up not too far down the road. But again, Johnson had a shot as the fourth quarter was dwindling to try and find the equalizer in that game. Got a pair of opportunities, couldn't find the back of the cage. And it is that 1-0 loss that is the one in the loss column for Ursinus. Brutal schedule early on for the Bears. Features 6 of the first 7 opponents who were ranked in the preseason NFHCA coaches poll. 4 of those 6 opponents they will face on the road. Of course, Lynchburg, who entered the year ranked 23rd in the country, is one of those 4. The Centennial Conference really doesn't even matter the sport. Very proud league. Say the same about the ODAC, but we think about teams like Bryn Mawr, Franklin and Marshall, Johns Hopkins. I mean, the list goes on and on. Gettysburg as well. And, of course, this Ursinus team. Whiffing on the ball there a little bit is Montgomery. Lynchburg trying to be opportunistic. Best opportunity potentially of the day, but it's going to go off wide again. Near side defending that. Not sure if it'll be a defensive save, but that looked like Franz. Could be Buno. Yeah, correction there. It's going to be Buno. Both have been playing on the near side. It's Kuhn trying to create some space for herself inside. Now it's Lamb. Lynchburg packing things in here close. Battle for the ball. Foul called against Lynchburg. And it's going the other way. Looks like it's going to go against Mazizi. It's Ursinus again trying to work this near side line. Some of that might just be the Bears kind of taking what they can get. It's interesting, though, in covering men's lacrosse team here at Lynchburg. Another great coach on this campus, Coach Steve Kadelka, referenced, try to avoid that substitution box as much as possible when you're trying to clear it, because there can be a little bit of confusion. Players are subbing in and out. You don't want to get caught up in that traffic, but Ursinus, of course, this time they will clear top of the screen, far side. Mazizi looking for somebody to pass to, works it up the field. Good pass to the far side. I believe that's Madison Marks. She now works it up to Boatwright. It's a 2-on-2 break. Can Boatwright find the feed or take it herself? Now another defender gets in for Ursinus. Oh, contact. Boatwright may get hit with something here. Nope, just going to be a foul. Say no aggression there, just an accident. I think that was Montgomery that hit the ground. Might see those two battle a good bit throughout today. So far, the top offensive player for Lynchburg and the top defensive player for the Bears. As you look at them matching up size-wise as well, pretty comparable in height. Shot from the far side. Looks like that was Mark. Couple of Marks on the team this year, Madison Mark and Lauren. Lauren got her first goal over the weekend in the season opening win over Lebanon Valley. Came in the second half. Often is a family affair. Many of these Lynchburg teams, the Marks, out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Of course, Ursinus, natives to Pennsylvania. Their coach, Janelle Benner, an alum of Old Dominion University. So certainly familiar with the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth, I should say. Had a heck of a playing career in her time in college as well. That's probably an understatement, as her club is now going to get its second opportunity at a corner. They're going to talk this over. Look to key this in. So far, 1 for 1, turning these penalty corners into goals. They're going to try to do it again. Look for Montgomery, similar spot to where she was last time, second from the left. Ursinus now key it in. They go, nope, faked it to her, stepping up to take it. Now they look to work it back. Might have been a little too much going on that one. Zizzy comes in trying to break it up. And she is successful in doing so. Yeah, got a little crafty there. Looked like that one might still have been drawn up for Montgomery, but took a different route to get there. At the end of the day, the ball does not make its way to 27. Ursinus still stuck on that one shot. Lynchburg's gotten another 2 up in the second period. It's 10-1. The shot disparity favoring the home team, but a 1-0 mark on the scoreboard. 8 minutes to go now in the second quarter. Keeping that one in play. Far side's Lamb goes out of bounds, but it's going to be off of Ursinus. It's like Kirsten Johnson, their top defending Lamb. Now they'll switch. It's Marie Brainerd. She's got a goal, on the year as well. 3 points, which coming into today was the team lead with that goal from Montgomery. She now lays claim to that. 4 points on 2 goals and 5 defensive saves. I'll have to refresh my stats here at the break, though, because she might have been credited with 1 or 2 in this first quarter. First half, I should say. Now look at the speed. Streaking down the field is Franz, trying to outrun Cameron. They're battling for it. Franz spins out of it. Brady coming up to try and challenge. And now Lynchburg's able to recover and regroup in close, try to help out their goalie. Somehow Franz still holding on to the ball until finally it's a battle for it far side. And now rolls back across the end line, gonna go to Lynchburg. Crisis averted there. How about the stick skills from Mary Lauren France? That's an all-conference level defender in Riley Cameron. I mentioned that NFHCA All-American watch list earlier. Cameron was on that as well. She's had a great 4-year career here at Lynchburg. Now in her senior campaign, that's who was defending Franz, and Franz got the better of her there. Spun out of some really good defense, and now Ursinus able to keep things on this end of the field. Now it's Cameron again. This time she's battling against Gigi Testa. It looks like we're going to get corner number 3. So certainly getting a little bit more pressure in the second quarter than the first is Ursinus. Clock stops with 6:17 to play. This goal number is a little bit tough to read. Looks like Lauren Breisch that's keying this one in from the far side. Here it comes. They work it up this time straight to Montgomery. She passes to her left. Shot lined up, will be kicked out of the way. That one didn't quite have the steam on it that you might want from Franz. Easy save for Brady, her first of the day. They're going to test her again. Oh, maybe a little bit closer than Brady thought it was going to be. Threw her hands up in the air, but ball does not find its way to the back of the cage. Pretty accurate shot there from distance. Lynchburg trying to generate some more of the pressure they had early on in this game. Ursinus working it ahead. That looks like it was going to be a pass. At least I'm assuming, because again, not much steam on that one either. I think that was trying to feed ahead, and instead this rolls back across the end line. So here's Lynchburg trying to now use that lacrosse term, clear it out of this side. It's Freeman with it, dancing along the end line. That ball did just kind of ride that blue line and then eventually goes over and out of bounds. Turns it back over to the Bears. That one sent high up in the air. Vendrick's got her stick up there and made contact, but not able to knock it down. Falls back over to Ursinus. Near side, it's a battle for it. That's Eliza Donaldson, the forward for Ursinus. Junior out of Springfield, Pennsylvania. You look down the roster, a lot of local talent. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware products on this Ursinus team. Lynchburg certainly got their fair share as well, but also got Germany, Zimbabwe, Netherlands. on the coaching staff. Add in Scotland as well. 4:13 to go. Ursinus has it. Lynchburg continued to apply that pressure they had in the first quarter, early in this second quarter, but now Ursinus flipped the script on that a little bit. It's Brooke Highland in near side, works it ahead to Vendrick. She surveys the scene ahead of her and outruns the ball, taken away by Montgomery. She has just been everywhere in this first half. Didn't really expect anything less. Captain for this Ursinus team. She's been every bit as good as advertised, making a strong case to repeat as Centennial Conference Player of the Week. Lynchburg gets a shot off there. Not a bad look at it from, I believe that was Renee Van Thiel. Another shot goes just wide. Again, I think that's Van Thiel. Take a look at her there. Yep. Freshman out of the Netherlands. Midfielder standing at 5'9". Adding some length to the Lynchburg offense. Coming off the bench, Mazizi trying to put it between the legs of her defender. That was Gigi Testa giving defense. Lynchburg finally back in its attacking third. They've gotten now 11 shots off after that one from Van Thiel. Still haven't found the back of the net. And we saw in those pregame stats, this Lynchburg team came in as the better program, at least in terms of shot percentage. But today, everything in close, whether it be between the posts protecting the cage or just the defense itself. Again, Paladinetti has 5 saves, and defense has kept her clean apart from that. Sinus has it right now. The one thing you can't say with as much time as Lynchburg spent time of possession-wise on this side of the field, they have limited the opportunities that Ursinus has gotten. 2 shots on the day. They're going to try to make it 3 right here. Good stick skills again. This time it's Remy Lloyd. Then it's poked away. 2 defenders against 1. Simple math. Certainly in favor of the defending team, the Hornets there. Poked it away, but a foul is called. Stays with Ursinus. Cameron, how about that? Just posts up there on the end line. Stays with the Bears, but Cameron's puts a stop to that attack, makes it very brief. It's Buno with it right now. 1:20 to play in the first half. So opportunities starting to dwindle now. Didn't quite put that one where she wanted to. Did Kirsten Johnson. Rolls out of that end line. Lynchburg's had a little bit of trouble sending things back into their attacking third in the second period. They've not made things easy on Ursinus, but back and forth we've gone, just trying to control possession. Mazizi surveys up the field, makes a couple defenders miss, makes another one miss. How about the stick skills? Referenced it early in the game. Freshman can play. Still no goals yet on the year. Don't want to say I can guarantee that's going to change. Don't know when it might, but I have a pretty good feeling number 1 in black's going to find the back of the cage at some point. Near side, it's Freeman. Mix of starters and reserves in the game right now. Couple of those starting 11 getting a breather so we go into the half. See Schaefer, Vendricks, Lamb, Mark, Boatwright, all on the sideline right now as we do hit the end of the first half. Second quarter goes pretty much without cause. Scoring halts at 1-0, favoring the visitors on this Code Red game. Ursinus trying to steal the show on Shellenberger Field.
If you like being close with your professors, if you like being in small classes that help with one-on-one, if you like being in positive communities that help you train your weak points and strengthen your strong points, then the University of Lynchburg is a great place to go. You can never go wrong with the amount of help that they offer, the amount of self-sacrifice that other people will put in for you. It has a beautiful campus, it has dedicated teachers, it has nice students, it has fun activities, and it has plenty of things to do.
Today's a rough day. Jess and I are officially on a break. The couple canoe has broken up.
It's not.
How you feeling?
Living the dream.
Just canoeing. That's the Mexican side behind me. The U.S. is that way.
So far, we're all still alive.
I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Woo! We did it! Kind of.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Never think that your donation is in vain, because you're helping out hundreds of students that are just like me, who need a shot and who are getting one. Without donations, without you individuals that are helping to donate to the university and the Lynchburg Fund, there would be no student body president, Davion Washington. There'd probably be I'm stuck at home, Davion Washington. Not only is your donation building leaders, but it's building leaders like myself and others that will hopefully want to pay it forward one day and do the same thing. I know for a fact that, when I have it, because I will, I want to give back to this university that provided me a home for 4 years.
Lynchburg really stood out for me just because of the way it treated its students. They really do make an effort here, and I've learned that over my 4 years is that they actually do try to listen to what the student body wants, and they try to act on that. They don't really just give you a piece of paper here to then go off and do your own thing. They actually prepare you to work with different populations, which is what the world is all about. It's just working with people that are different than you. They genuinely care that everyone has the ability to go off into the world and make a difference with whatever they like. For me, that's just being basically in a room with someone helping them achieve their first goal of, I don't know, doing a pull-up. I actually do believe they want you to do the best you can to change someone's life for the better. You can be anyone here, which I think is really cool, but regardless of who you are here, they will make sure you don't fall through the cracks, which is awesome. I have realized that I've never felt lost here. I will not regret ever coming here, that's for sure. So I'm very glad that I came here. Yeah, it's actually pretty awesome.
The biggest thing that I've taken from Westover is probably my interactions with faculty. I started working with Dr. Fryer. He's always available for help, and he makes sure that I get to do the experiments and not just be there while he does them. I didn't want to limit myself when I came here to just taking the prereqs for med school. I wanted to get a full, well-rounded education, and I definitely found that in the Westover program. It's given me the opportunity to keep playing soccer at a competitive level, but also it's given me the ability to be a student and to pursue other activities such as EMS. "100% do Westover because it's not something they're going to regret, and it's going to be a lot of work, but so is everything else. It's just going to help build their education that they've already had and make them a better person for it."
Well, we're through 30 minutes of this one, the home opener, not only for field hockey, but for Lynchburg sports on Shellenberger Field. It's a 2-0 start to the year for the number 23 team in the country in Lynchburg, but the visitors trying to play spoiler here on a beautiful fall Saturday. Now, almost afternoon, still this brunch start, kind of getting used to that 11 a.m. start, but we'll take a look at some of the numbers from that first quarter. On the score sheet, of course, it's only 1-0. Did not have a lot of goals finding the back of the cage, and the one that did was Ursinus on just 2 shots that they got off. Lynchburg unable to put one in the back of the cage. They've gotten 11 shots off so far. They also lead shots on goal at 6-2. And how about Paladinetti in the goal, I should say, for Ursinus. 5 saves through that first half. She's on pace to match her current career high of 10, but of course, this just her 3rd career game at the collegiate level. She is impressed. Kayla Brady has been tested just twice, and she has saved 50% of what she has seen. When you look at the individual numbers, and we'll look at a couple of highlights from that first quarter as well. Again, Lynchburg getting off plenty of shots, but for Ursinus, it's been Maeve Montgomery. You look at a save right there from Paladinetti. Look at that one from Aaron Boatwright. That's kind of been the tail of the tape. It's just shots going off just wide. There you saw the goal from Montgomery. She's got a defensive save as well, helping out her goalie, protecting the back of the cage. A vintage Maeve Montgomery game, you could say. Of course, that 1 goal on 1 shot and 1 defensive save. That came on an assist from Kirsten Johnson, who keyed in that set piece from the penalty corner. It's been a very tightly contested first half of action. Ursinus taking a lot more control on the attacking side of things as we got through that second quarter. Lynchburg is going to come out in the third, try to be aggressive, try to attack, but we should certainly have a hard-fought battle all the way down to the end. We got 1.5 minutes until the third quarter gets underway. Don't go anywhere. You're watching field hockey on LHSN. Third quarter getting set to get underway in the fifth all-time meeting between these two foes. You take a look at the series history right there. We'll talk through some of those things up on the board, but we're rolling with play already here in the third quarter. A 1-0 Ursinus lead right now. It's Lynchburg with the ball, but it is a 3-1 lead in the series for the visitors. This is the first time they have ever traveled to Shellenberger Field. Closest they came was neutral site game played at Liberty, utilizing the AstroTurf over there for the Flames. Now a good opportunity for Lynchburg. Got Paladinetti to step out of the goal a bit. Boatwright in waiting, but not able to work it up to her. They're going to draw the penalty corner. Lynchburg forced several in the first quarter. Weren't able to take advantage quite as much in the second, but they didn't possess the ball as much as they did in that first. It's Boatwright back in to key this one in. We saw her key in the first two, and then Danielle Kuhn made the pass on the third. Memory serves. It's penalty corner number 4 for the Hornets. It comes in to Cameron. She surveys. Works it near side. Pass ricochets off to Mazizzi. Now battle for it. Paladinetti on the ground. Boatwright trying to scoop it in, and she does. Try again. Erin Boatwright has the first goal of the season on Shellenberger Field. Her 4th of the year. Making that switch from defense to left wing look easy. And where'd she score it from? The left side of the field. That is 10 points for the all-conference defender, Erin Boatwright. She just continues to be persistent. I thought Paladinetti had it covered up. Just continues to poke at that ball. Eventually picks up the goal. First goal of the day for Lynchburg, and there is new life on the sidelines. It's Lynchburg looking to go 3-0. Be the first time in a couple years Lynchburg has started off its season with 3 wins and no losses. Mentioned the Ursinus difficulty of their schedule. Lynchburg always playing a tough schedule as well. Ursinus, case in point, one of those opponents. Got York and Keene, both ranked in the preseason poll. They're coming up on down the line. And then, of course, Washington Lee and Shenandoah, who were separated by just 2 points from Lynchburg in the ODAC preseason poll. Those three seemingly just going back and forth every single year over the last several seasons. Last year it was Washington and Lee who won the league. Defeated Lynchburg in Lexington, but Lynchburg getting the better of Shenandoah in the semifinals. That one was right here on Shellenberger. So now Lynchburg, after its first goal of the day, trying to keep the pressure on. This is looking a bit like the first quarter did. Lynchburg coming up with their eyes up and open, looking to push. Juan Fordner, don't think she knew that shot, that pass was coming in. If she'd been able to step into that one, had a pretty clear lane. Right now it is Vendricks. Foul's going to go against Lynchburg. Gives it back over to Ursinus. They're going to look to work it ahead. Good stop. Nope, going to stay with the Bears. Thought for a moment that Olivia Muir had the stop. Now it's Vendricks, comes away with it, looks for a pass. Gonna send one to Schaefer. Boatwright was standing there in waiting. I'm not sure if that was, I'm gonna say that was probably a pass. We've already seen Boatwright take one, well, I should say pluck one ball out of the air and send it into the back of the cage. She did that a couple of games ago. Rather, one game ago against Dickinson. Might have been looking for something similar right there. But it's batted down by the Bears before Lynchburg could take advantage. Now near side, it's Van Thiel again. Three and a half minutes already gone by in this third quarter. Schaefer makes her defender miss. Looking to get in close. Fifth-year Schaefer, formerly Kessa Romero. Certainly a favorite of Coach Steele and among her teammates. All ODAC selection season ago, and she, along with Sydney Metz, both electing to come back for 5th seasons on Lakeside Drive. Ursinus into the attacking third, first time in this third quarter. Cameron battling far side, going to take it away. Tries to work it ahead to Boatwright. Goes out of bounds and will stay on this end of the field. Ursinus ball. Whiffing on the attempted feed ahead there. Looks like it was Buno. Zizzy came up to challenge. That's got to be a little bit tricky. It's an offensive player trying to line up a shot or a pass, and Lynchburg defenders just moving up right in your face. It's a little bit hard to see, you'd have to imagine. Now it is Lynchburg with the ball. That ball went across goal line out of bounds. Quickly reversing it was Ursinus, and then right back over to the Hornets. Whistles blow again. It's far side with Freeman right now. Surveys ahead. Now looks to work ahead. Guarded one-on-one. Wins that matchup. Picks up another defender. Eludes her, passing up to Mizizzi. Now she works it way up. Schaefer tried to corral that ball. I think it might have been intended for Vendricks. Now Boatwright to Vendricks. Vendricks corrals, stops it from the goal line. Looks ahead there, in close. Lynchburg looking for goal number 2. She hits the turf. And getting out of trouble there is Ursinus, just knocking that ball away. Kuhn's going to corral it far side, so Lynchburg stays with it, but avoiding the score at least right there as this ball just slowly trickles across. It was misplayed by Paladinetti, but this time it's going to be Danielle Kuhn. She comes in and picks up goal number 1 of her collegiate career. She did have a point, had an assist coming into today, but now goal number 1 puts Lynchburg up for the first time today. The sophomore was not able to play last season due to an ACL. She has come in immediately, made an impact here in year 2. That time she finds the back of the cage. That's a big goal as Lynchburg. Nope, never mind. Will be wiped off. Excuse me. I have to temper my celebration there, my excitement rather. That goal wiped off the board. We'll see if we can get another look at it. Just again, it just kind of slowly trickled over the line. But yeah, we'll see if we can get a replay of that if we have a stoppage long enough. It is Ursinus, the attacking half right now. 8.5 minutes to go in the third. That ball rolls across the goal line, will be taken over by Lynchburg. Up to 7 saves now for Paladinetti. Still just 1 for Brady, but she's only been tested twice. 2 shots for Ursinus, both on goal, to 16 for Lynchburg. Hornets with it right now. Looks like Muir maybe wasn't sure of where Cameron was. Cameron does track it down. Feeds it ahead. Ursinus tracking it down. That is Kirsten Johnson, had the assist earlier. Zizzy feeds it across the midline temporarily, and then Montgomery sends it right back. Haven't called her name a whole lot in this second half. Now working ahead, trying to get out in transition. Shot never makes its way to Kayla Brady off the stick of Franz. Earns a reset here as it stays with Ursinus. From the blue line, Montgomery takes a few steps backward, and we'll get a look at this, what we thought was a goal. Wait for the official ruling why that one was wiped off here in a moment. Right now it's Ursinus trying to probe offensively, hitting the turf. There looks like was Franz. That's going to draw the penalty corner, first one of the second half for the visitors. Take a look at that contact again. Juan Fordner comes in from behind, just gives a little bump, wasn't expecting it. Franz hits the turf. No harm, no foul, but of course it is a foul. Will be a penalty corner now for Ursinus, but everybody's all right. We'll see what the Bears draw up. That one comes in hot to Montgomery. She corrals it though. Now working back to the outside of Brady. Brady sprawled out, but eventually, I'm going to say maybe on the third shot, Ursinus going to find the back of the cage for the second time. Now it is the Bears that are celebrating. Looked momentarily as though Lynchburg had taken the 2-1 advantage. Now that advantage belongs to Ursinus. 6:19 to go. As the goal appears to be credited to number 18, Reagan Horting. See, Brady comes up, makes the initial save. And coming in there at the last second, now it was not Horting, looks like it was Franz. Number 9 that comes in kind of unchecked. Brady, good effort there, does make, again, that initial stop. Lynchburg didn't have the bodies in there to break up the follow-up attacks. Ursinus now holding a 2-1 advantage. Coming into today, Lynchburg had yet to trail on the season and had only not possessed the lead for 1:49. Hornets struck fast against Lebanon Valley, scoring within roughly the first minute, and then it only took 42 seconds for Aaron Boatwright to find the back of the cage against Dickinson last Sunday. It's going to be another penalty corner now for Ursinus. First goal coming directly off the corner. That one from just a moment ago, somewhat indirectly, took a couple tries, but ultimately a goal does result from the set piece. It's Kirsten Johnson to key it in again. Again, the lone assist on the day, and she feeds it in. This one a little bit less steam on it, but this one will not be corralled. She goes near side, far left. That lineup of Bears was Rachel Buno. Whistle blows, turn back over to Lynchburg. As the Hornets get out unscathed of that set piece. Boatwright, defender in her face, eludes the first one. Second one steps up, makes the stop initially, then whistles blow, foul against Ursinus. This time, Boatwright has it taken away. Marie Brainerd stole it, and then initially looked like it was pointed to Lynchburg. Nope, it will stay with Ursinus. So now it is the Bears playing keep away. Over the latter half of this third quarter, we got 4:45 to play, and then just the fourth remaining. Battle for it here is going to be won by Schaefer. Lynchburg's got some numbers out ahead. Ursinus still back there to corral it. Whistle blows, foul against the Bears. Schaefer sends it backwards to Lamb, and Lamb puts it back into play. See if Lynchburg can generate any more offense here for the end of the third. Initially, looks like the answer is no. Just unable to corral that. Now, Muir comes up. She misplays the ball. Coming near side, saved along the out-of-bounds line, then sent out by Lamb. Battling with Amanda Groling. Go back to Ursinus. Lauren Sikowski sends it in. Still working this near side. Gigi Testa turns it over. That one, I think off the stick. Heard the crack of it. Off the stick of Sikowski. Hadn't said her name a whole lot until lately. Did make the start for Ursinus today. Sophomore midfielder, another one out of Pennsylvania. She hailing from Downington. Zizzy turns it back over to Ursinus. They'll work backwards first. Of course, holding that 1 point advantage, looking for win number 4 in 5 tries all time against Lynchburg. 3rd straight year these two clubs have met in the regular season. First 2 meetings both came in the NCAA tournament. Both of those won by the Bears. Schaefer has it right now. Good defense from Ursinus, not letting anything be easy. It's Monica Herman running all over the field. Defended Schaefer, and then when Schaefer sent it backwards to Muir, ran after her as well. That pass gets by Muir and then rolls out near side. Relatively harmless. Brady, 2 saves on the day, 4 shots on goal for Ursinus. Still that 50% save mark. Came into today, save percentage up over 80. Now in her 3rd year as the starter in the cage for Lynchburg. Here's Kuhn trying to work things ahead for Lynchburg. Rebound taken by Oatjes. Oatjes, her shot, well, feed I should say, kicked back out by Paladinetti. Fitting near side. Lamb again giving defense. Called her name a good bit, working both end lines really, far and near. Doing good work trying to award possessions back over to Lynchburg. Oat just trying to thread the needle between her defender. Pass inside, trying to come up and make a play on it was Vendricks. Couldn't get quite a hold of it. Still to the right of the press box here. Schaefer takes it away. That's turning into a little bit of a battle. Schaefer and Herman. Defensive midfielder Monica Herman. Whiffing there is Mizizzi. That's going to turn it back over to Ursinus. That stick came up a little bit. Now battle near midfield. This time it's Weinfordner for Lynchburg. Been a very good reserve. Coming in off the bench now in her junior campaign. Good defender. We've seen that on several occasions so far today. Looks like that's Livia Van Meter in as well off the bench. Again, some of the starters getting a little bit of a rest right now. 18 seconds to go in the 3rd. So right now Lynchburg looking to stop one more Ursinus attack. Ursinus trying to force an attack, and looks like that's going to go in favor of Lynchburg with 3 seconds to go. Lamb is just going to feed it ahead. Horn sounds. We are through 45 minutes. We did get a little more scoring in that 3rd period. Lynchburg knots things up with the 4th goal of the year from Aaron Boatwright, the Hornets' leading scorer. But then the response, Ursinus goes back up 2-1. We got 15 minutes to play. Should be a great conclusion on LHSN.
Living the dream. USA, Mexico. That was so exciting.
Still early in the 2023 campaign. Big non-conference battle here between the Ursinus Bears and the Lynchburg Hornets. Take a look at the upcoming schedule for Ursinus. Next up will be a road trip to number 8 Messiah. And then you can take a look at another pair of ranked opponents, the College of New Jersey and Johns Hopkins as well. Very tough non-conference slate for Ursinus. And then for Lynchburg next up, it will be September 9th, midweek action against September 9th is today, but midweek action coming up this coming week against Mary Wash with Kenyon, Randolph-Macon, and York, the next lineup for Lynchburg. York will be a neutral site game. That one will be played at Sweetbriar, the first of 2 games that will be played right up the road for Lynchburg at relatively neighboring Sweetbriar College. Hornets will face the Vixens towards the end of the regular season. ODAC foe. But all eyes right now on this particular non-conference matchup. Pair of teams that should be pretty well rested, each coming off of 6 days rest for both. That is the longest rest they will get from here on out. It's a 19-game season, and it flies by. Less than 2-month regular season. And it's pretty much twice a week all the way. And for Lynchburg, 3 different occasions this year, they will play on back-to-back days. That's what they did this past weekend. Road trip at Lebanon Valley and then Dickinson. It was up in the neck of the woods of Ursinus in Pennsylvania. That was a successful trip. Lynchburg able to be out to a 2-0 start, back-to-back campaigns. Did the same in 2022. Now looking to make it 3-0. It's Ursinus with it right now. Montgomery on the far side. Goes out of bounds. And Lynchburg with a 1-goal deficit and 13 minutes to work with. Is going to try to apply some pressure. Doesn't look like it's going to come right now. Ursinus trying to get out in space. Cameron standing back there in wait. Still feeding it ahead. That one is going to be a foul against Lynchburg. Should draw another penalty corner. Lynchburg already setting up for it. And we'll see what Ursinus brings to the table this time. They've, again, directly scored on a penalty corner already today, and then goal number 2. We'll go ahead and count that as a result of the penalty corner. The initial shot did not find the back of the cage, but the rebound at the end of that set piece did. Now they'll key it in again. Comes near side to Buno. That one misses everybody. Cameron kind of jumping out of the way. That one had some heat behind it. Opportunity missed there for Ursinus. It was their 6th penalty corner of the day, 4 for Lynchburg. 36 fouls between the two teams today and a combined 10 penalty corners. Lynchburg got that foul number a little bit closer to where they'd like it. Climbed all the way up to 55 in that win over Dickinson. A little bit, as Coach Steele pointed to, some of that can just be credited to the fast style of play, as this time Brady misjudges her play on the ball. Looks like what typically would be a pretty routine save gets by, and Ursinus has put the pressure on, trying to spoil this Code Red day for Lynchburg. They have taken a 3-1 advantage, 12 minutes just under remaining in the game. Take a look at it again. Dribbling with it there for Ursinus, and then ultimately putting it in was Marie Brainerd. She had a goal coming into today. Now make that 2. She reclaims the leading scorer title for the visitors. Had 3 points coming into the day. Now she's at 5. Zizzy trying to answer quickly. She just sort of eludes everybody, gets in close. And now Lynchburg has earned the penalty corner. Getting into that point of the game, 11 and a half minutes to go. Uncharted territory for this Lynchburg team. Can't really say this is a particularly young group. Mentioned 7 returning all ODAC honorees from last season are back on the roster this year. 5th years, Kessa Schaefer, Sydney Metz, Schaefer in particular, has been out there for the majority of this game. So Lynchburg, we'll see how they can handle some adversity. That ball gets up in the air, catches, looks like the left arm of Buno. Seems to be okay, shook it off. It was lifted up by Cameron. So 11:16 to play, and that penalty corner results in no profit for Lynchburg. Ursinus trying to send it back the other way. Dodging defenders so far. Working ahead now, taken away by Van Thiel. She's been active when she's been in the game today. Now Boatwright near side. The lone goal scorer for Lynchburg. Thought Danielle Kuhn had goal number 1 of her career. That one was wiped off the board. Speculation maybe went off of another Lynchburg player. That shot lined up by Mazizi, well off the mark. Might have been deflected by an Ursinus defender. Taken away now by the Bears. Feeding it up and ahead. It rolls out of bounds. Stays on the right side of the field. And Lynchburg has made substitution in the cage. Kayla Brady coming out. She has been replaced by Shay Shunas. Shunas, freshman, getting her first minutes in goal. My depth chart here would add Samira Garavi likely as the replacement. She is dressed today. Has made 1 career save, but instead, Lynchburg will turn to the freshman. A discussion currently between Brady and assistant coach in charge of goalkeepers, Karen Mann. Mann began her career at Mary Washington, came on to the Lynchburg staff in 2017, and has worked with quite a few very talented goalkeepers. Spent a little bit of time as the head coach at George Mason as well. And how about a 3-sport athlete during her time at Mary Washington? Field hockey, women's lax, and women's basketball. Right now it's Lynchburg still controlling things. They're attacking half, but it's Ursinus trying to say something about that. Sikowski trying to poke that one away. Now a shot comes in, sent back out. Foul goes against Lynchburg. Another possession comes to a halt for the Hornets. Now under 9 minutes to play. Time certainly becoming a factor. Lynchburg down 2 scores. Ball Karen's up high into the air. Lynchburg able to corral it back. It's Freeman. Zizzy was in there as well. Freeman trying to look ahead. Good defense from a couple of Bear defenders. A little eerily quiet here, Shellenberger Field right now. Be a little bit of a, certainly not a shock. Everybody knows what kind of program Ursinus is, regularly ranked inside the top 20, and I already referenced those 2 Final Four appearances in recent memory and the 2006 national title. But again, a Lynchburg team, a very good weekend over the past couple days, 2-0 start to the year. And again, this Code Red game, if nothing else, that certainly signifies a big matchup, but it's Ursinus stealing the spotlight so far. See if they can hold on over the final 8 minutes. Lynchburg controlling time of possession for the most part in this fourth quarter, but the one goal, similar to that first quarter, one goal still belongs to the visitors. It's a 17-8 shot disparity for Lynchburg. So nothing for Coach Steele to be disappointed with in that regard. They're creating opportunities, generating some offense and applying pressure. I mean, from an offensive perspective, there's always things to improve upon, but Lamb knocks that one out of bounds. A little bit of a late whistle, but yeah, pretty clear there. Lamb couldn't quite corral that in time. Again, of course, as a result of applying that pressure, you've limited Ursinus to getting only 8 shots up, but they've put 3 of them in the back of the cage. Brady's still talking to man on the sideline. Still Ursinus in goal. Hasn't been tested yet. Wearing the purple goalie uniform. Vendrick's trying to come away with the ball there. Going to be called for the foul. Fouls for Lynchburg creeping up a little bit now, up to 26. Certainly don't think they're going to reach that 55 mark from the Dickinson game. Certainly at the point of the game, though, we're got to make sure you keep your composure, keep your discipline, try to limit those fouls as much as possible. Lynchburg even slightly ahead in nearly every aspect of this game other than the scoreboard. As I said in the first quarter, that is the only thing that matters when that final horn sounds, and that's coming in less than 6 minutes. So the comeback is going to be on the horizon. It's got to start right about now. Lynchburg gets a stop there. But Ursinus now able to play relaxed, able to play with confidence. They've come out here on the road to a hostile environment. Made a statement so far. Again, game's not over, but Ursinus has certainly been impressive today. They have not backed down even a tad. Never looked rattled. Wonder sometimes how these earlier games will affect players. If you see any signs of fatigue, I mean, I personally, I really don't think we've seen any of that today. I think both teams have been visibly energetic, visibly up for this game, and it's just Ursinus that's made more plays so far. Lynchburg now trying to work it ahead. It's Schaefer trying to outrun her defender. Might have gotten caught by the stick of said defender there. She's awarded back the ball, makes that defender miss again. Essentially a crossover here. Shot comes in and stopped. Gotta imagine that's going to be a defensive save for Montgomery. She had one in the first half. She comes in there and scoops that one up. Entering that possession, 2 defensive saves on the day. One for Montgomery, one for Sikowski, who's really been active in this second half. Ball gets sent into the Ursinus attacking half, then Lamb collects it. Has it knocked out of bounds. She sends it up into the air. Boatwright collects. Looking ahead with 3:47 to play. Sikowski right on her right shoulder. She tries to scoop it in. Nope, not gonna get there. Didn't even have to test that one, did Paladinetti. It's off to the far side. Ursinus ball. Montgomery has it. Surveys ahead. No need for any sense of urgency right now from the Bears. Only 3.5 minutes left to try and protect this 2-goal lead. Cameron trying to feed it ahead there, either to Schaefer or Mazizi. Doesn't matter. The pass never gets there. And now in transition, it's Ursinus. That pass played a little too far ahead. Ursinus protecting it with her body. Good instincts there, but she's never actually challenged for the shot. It was Ellie Bruggeman coming up to try to get to that ball. Just could not quite get there. It's played a little bit too hard ahead. Ball's going to roll across the out-of-bounds line with 2:42 to go Lynchburg ball. Lamb again sends it in from the near side. Looks ahead, tries to work it up to Boatwright on her outside shoulder. We'll try this again with 2:24 to go. Coach Steele looks on, trying to avoid the first loss of the season. With each passing second, Ursinus gets closer and closer to picking up ranked win number 2. And one thing that can be said, there's going to be no questions about the Bears' resume. They are putting themselves through the gauntlet early and often, in conference and out of conference. Got to figure, you told their coaching staff, specifically Coach Benner, for the season out of these first 3 games, Rowan, Lynchburg, it's that one coming outside of the circle. Does find the back of the cage, doesn't matter. But again, if you told, Coach Benner coming into this year that out of these first 3 games, William Smith, Lynchburg, and Rowan, 2 of them on the road, that you were going to win 2, I think you'd be pretty happy with that. It certainly doesn't get any easier. As you mentioned, Johns Hopkins coming up. Bryn Mawr, Gettysburg, Franklin and Marshall, a number of others. College of New Jersey on the not too distant horizon. But now with less than a minute to play and possessing the ball in that attacking third, it looks like they are going to pick up a big-time win on the road over the current number 23 team in the nation in Lynchburg. And we won't get that second NFHCA poll until the conclusion of week 2. That'll be next Tuesday. But I would not be surprised to see Ursinus make an appearance, regardless of what happens against Messiah coming up September 13th. That'll be a night game, 7 p.m. start. 3rd road game out of the first 4 contests for the Bears. Then they'll go back home for Albright and then back on the road for the College of New Jersey. 10 seconds, Boatwright sends it back across the end line. Clock will not stop. And as the final 5 seconds come off, a little bit of disbelief on the Lynchburg sideline and a good deal of excitement, deservedly so, for Ursinus. They have picked up their second. I hesitate to even call it an upset win. This was a commanding performance from the visitors. Certainly plenty to be, you don't want to say satisfied, so a good bit to look back on and be okay with if you're Lynchburg. You're certainly not okay with that final score, but creating 19 shots, creating some good looks at the cage for yourself. But at the end of the day, Ursinus just makes the plays when they need to be made, and that results in your final score. A tough day in the cage for Kayla Brady as Shea Shunas comes in to finish this one up. Maeve Montgomery leading the way with a defensive save, with a goal on 2 shots. The leader for Ursinus does what leaders do, helps her club come on the road and pick up the win. And let's not take anything away from Paladinetti in the cage. Only her 3rd career game, and she has continued to just be incredibly, incredibly impressive. Made 8 saves today on 9 shots faced. Very, very close to 90% in the save percentage category. That is going to do it for game 1 of our doubleheader. Do not go anywhere. I mentioned that game. Women's soccer coming up next. They are taking on Johns Hopkins. Certainly should be a fantastic one. But we are going to sign off for game 1 from Lakeside Drive. We'll tell you our final. It's Ursinus 3, Lynchburg 1. You've been watching LHSN. I am Sam Graham. Huge shout out to our whole crowd, especially director Sam Rice. And we will see you next time.